If someone had told me that at the age of 77, I would have to stay in a nursing home for 2 months, I would have definitely laughed out loud. I always believed that I was healthy enough to avoid that, at least at this point in time. But life has a way of bringing us lessons we never expect, making us realize the most important things when we least anticipate it. At first, I thought I was just going to the nursing home to rest and recover. A quiet place, with caregivers, and regular meals. I imagined it would only be a short break, and then I would return to my everyday life. But 2 months passed and completely changed the way I perceive life, people, and the things I thought I had understood clearly. There I met many people, individuals with stories unlike any other. Some had been there for many years, unaware of when they would return. Some still had family visiting, but many were forgotten. They lived quietly within the walls, in rooms devoid of children's laughter, with no warm conversations around the family dining table. Some accepted their fate, finding peace in the present, while others carried regrets, remorse, and unfulfilled dreams. During the long nights spent tossing and turning in the small room, I thought a lot about life, about youth, about the choices we once believed were right at that moment. And I realized one thing: whether you are young or old, life never stops testing us. It presents lessons, sometimes painful ones, but if you are willing to listen, you will come to understand the most important things before it's too late. Today, I want to share with you the 7 lessons I learned during those 2 months, things that everyone should hear, regardless of their age. Because one day, everyone will grow old. And when that moment comes, how will you live so that you have no regrets? Lesson 1. Loneliness is the worst disease of old age. Many people think that nursing homes are simply places that provide healthcare services for the elderly. But after 2 months there, I realized that the greatest challenge is not the aches and pains, not illness or aging, but rather loneliness. There are people who have lived here for years without anyone coming to visit. Their families are busy with their own lives. Peers have gradually drifted away, while the world outside continues to move as if they had never existed. There is no one to talk to, no one to hold their hand in comfort, no one to mention their names with affection. That feeling of being forgotten is more painful than any illness. I once heard an old man say that the scariest thing is not death, but the feeling of watching the world continue on without you in it. At that moment, he understood that money, career, or success means nothing if we ultimately have to live in loneliness. If he could turn back time, he would spend more time building deep relationships rather than just chasing after work and wealth. Therefore, while you are still young, do not only think about success, but invest in love, friendship, and meaningful connections. Because one day, those are the only things left by your side. Lesson 2. Health is the most precious thing money cannot buy. I once met a wealthy man, who owned many properties, luxury cars, and had traveled all around the world. But now, when his health has deteriorated, he cannot do anything by himself. He cannot eat independently, cannot stand up from bed without help. His wealth is still there, but it cannot buy him a healthy body. There is a very true saying, young people trade health for money, old people use money to regain health. But the sad thing is sometimes, when we realize this, it is already too late. If I could do it again, I would care more about my body, exercise regularly, eat healthily, get enough sleep, and reduce stress. Because in the end, if you have the whole world in your hands but do not have enough health to enjoy it, then everything becomes meaningless. Lesson 3. The things we accumulate over a lifetime will become meaningless. In the past, I owned a spacious house, equipped with all conveniences, and beautiful decorative items that I spent many years collecting. But now, I live in a small room with just a few necessary items. And the strangest thing is, I can hardly remember the things from back then. What we worked hard to accumulate over a lifetime turns out to be less important than we think. As time goes by, we do not regret luxurious items, but only regret memorable moments, those precious memories with loved ones. If I could turn back time, I would spend more time creating beautiful memories instead of just accumulating wealth. Lesson 4. Independence is a priceless gift. Imagine you once had the freedom to move around, to make decisions about everything, and then one day you have to rely on others for even the simplest things like getting dressed, eating, or using the bathroom. That is the reality that many elderly people face every day. When we are young, we never think that one day we will lose our autonomy. We believe that this body will always be strong, these hands will always be agile, and these legs will always take us anywhere. But then there will come a day when those seemingly obvious things become luxuries. So, if you can still do everything on your own, cherish every moment of it. Keep your body healthy for as long as possible, and live a life independent of others, so that when you grow old, you do not feel helpless in front of your own life. Lesson 5. Happiness comes from the simplest things. I met an 85-year-old lady who always smiled, even though her life was not extravagant. When I asked her about her secret to happiness, she just smiled gently and said, "I don't think about what I have lost. I cherish what I still have." That statement made me pause. We often rush after grand things, hoping for something really special to feel happy, forgetting that happiness is actually right in front of us. In a warm cup of tea, a beautiful sunny morning, or a joyful conversation filled with laughter. Happiness does not lie in extravagant things, but in how we treasure the small things around us. Lesson 6. Forgiveness is not for others, but for yourself. I have met many people here who carry resentment with them right to the end of their lives. Angry at their children, angry at friends, even angry at those who have passed away. But what I realized is that those who hold on to resentment are the ones who suffer the most. A woman once told me that her greatest regret was not forgiving her sister while she was still alive. Now, with her sister gone, she cannot do anything to make amends for that mistake. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting or accepting wrongdoing, but it is about letting go of the burden in your heart. When you forgive, you do not do it for others, but for yourself, to lighten your heart, so you can continue living without being bound by the past. Lesson 7. Every day is a gift. Don't wait to enjoy life. One morning, I woke up to hear that someone in the nursing home had passed away in his sleep. Just the night before, he was sitting down for dinner, chatting happily, and then, he never woke up again. Life is more fragile than we think. We always believe that we have time, that one day we will do this or that. But the truth is, one day may never come. I have learned that if you want to express love, you should say it today. If you want to create beautiful memories, do it right now. Don't wait until it's too late to realize that the most important thing is not how many years you live, but how you live every moment of those years. Although I only spent 2 months in the nursing home, that time completely changed the way I perceive life. I realized that life is not measured by the number of years we live, but by how we enjoy each moment within those years. The lessons I learned are not just for the elderly, but for everyone. Because one day, we will all grow old, and the most important thing is not how much time we have left, but how we have lived those years. There are elderly people I met in the nursing home who have no regrets, because they have lived fully, loved wholeheartedly, and have not missed out on the most important things in life. But there are also those who always wish they could go back, choose a different path, or fix their mistakes. I am no longer afraid of old age, but I fear wasting time. I fear that in the end, I will look back and realize that I have missed too many things that could have been enjoyed. If you are hearing these words, I want to remind you that, no matter what age you are, do not wait until it is too late to recognize the value of health, relationships, and the very meaning of life. Because one day, when all you have left are memories, you will wish that you had created more memories. Life is shorter than we think. Live meaningfully, love without hesitation, and never let a day pass without cherishing it.